So you're curious about high school or how you can make it better for yourself. I personally loved high school just because every year was different, and it was different in its own way, and although some things were harder than others each year, kind of like got over them and realized who your true friends were throughout school and became closer. Beautiful journey, as you can say, even though it's kind of cliche to say that, but college, we jumped the gun pretty quickly. High school is an awesome experience, and there's so many things you can take part of, and I just encourage you guys, if you are not involved in anything in your school, just get involved in one extracurricular activity, whether it would be a sport or band or art club or just being in student council. Whatever it is, just find your niche and stick with it all throughout high school, because you're gonna meet some people throughout that are just gonna become your core friends and just people that you're never gonna forget. Freshman year I did dance, and that was just really fun because my first year I just felt super involved in the school, and I was in student council too, and I also was on YouTube. So I would say freshman year was probably one of the most stressful years for me just because I was involved in too much. And there is kind of a balance in high school in terms of getting your studies out of the way and coming home and actually having time to do your homework and going to a sport and helping out outside of school with student council. And that was the story of my life. And I also was involved in my church, and so I was heavily involved, and I always encourage people to be involved in things, but there is also a limit, and so you kind of have to limit that so you can have a life and breathe. Please, I just encourage you to get involved in something that you're passionate about, or you could see yourself just being curious about, like, I wonder what tennis is like, you know? I did that senior year and I loved it, and I wish I would have done it all 4 years, because who knows how good I would have been, because this year I wasn't that great because it was my first year, and I probably won't do it in college just because I don't think my school offers that. But I was really thankful for that opportunity, and I met some really great friends, and we just had a scheduled time every single day where we just played tennis, and it was fun, and I felt closer to my school simply because I was playing for my school. Another thing I would encourage you to do is to actually read the books that are offered you to read in English and reading in high school, because usually those are some pretty classic novels that can kind of shape the way that you see things, because usually they either have to do with like racial issues that have happened in the past, or just about humanity in general. It's just really cool to kind of like read those stories, and that's something that I regret because I used Spark Notes a lot in those classes because I just was so lazy. I didn't want to read the books. So if you still, after seeing this video, don't want to read the books, I would just encourage you to at least know what you're talking about in class, like know what the book is about, and just dig deeper. And if you're curious about it, then try to research more information. Google is your friend, I promise you. Also, I want to say that the number one thing that made my day better was just when people that I didn't really know too closely, when they would say hi to me in the hallway or just like wave to me in the hallway, I just made my day, you know? I just really appreciated that. And there's always those few people that you're always gonna know, like those people like changed my mindset throughout the day because of just their attitude. So if you're not gonna say hi to random strangers in the hallway, at least acknowledge the people who are saying hi to you in the hallway, because you never know if the next year you guys are gonna be best friends, because life kind of works out that way sometimes. People that you never saw being your friends are either your friends or somehow end up working their way closer to you in your life. A big lesson that I learned is to listen to the people that you trust. If they're telling you advice or saying, Chelsea, this guy is probably not that great for you, or I don't really see what you see in him, Chelsea, I don't know what you're doing, then pay attention and actually evaluate who is around you and why you think they deserve a place in your life, because you have no idea how much that person can affect your mind and the way that you just perceive people, and if they don't respect a certain person that you should respect and love, how negatively that can affect you as a person. Just listen to those people around you, because normally they are right, and sometimes they have a different view than you do, and they can see from above rather than just you seeing what's right in front of you. It's just nice to know that there's people who actually care about you and are trying to give you advice on how to keep your life as non-toxic as possible. If you consider yourself a shy person, this might be kind of hard for you, but I really encourage you guys to become friends with the people that you see who are super outgoing, because those people usually are super friendly and are the class clowns of your class, or people who are outgoing, they're usually within high leadership positions of like a sports team or student council or whatever. It's just nice to have those certain people in your life because they just brighten your day. Outgoing people usually can help you just put a little pep in your step when you're feeling down, and having too many like introverts in your life sometimes is just kind of draining, because you need someone to kind of just amp you up a little sometimes, because I know sometimes I can be an extrovert and I can be an introvert, and I'm pretty much right smack dab in the middle. So it's nice to have both in my life. I feel like I have a good even mixture of both. I feel like a lot of people have said this in high school advice videos, but it's so important to go to your school events like basketball games and football games, especially football games. My football games were the funnest times of high school for sure, because just the energy and the spirit of my school, just it's non-comparable to any other school, I think, at least in this area. I just love the people and the energy, and if you feel like your school is lacking school spirit, then change it. You guys can be the change of your student section in high school. We've had certain traditions of fake chicken, and we like raise it up in the middle of the bleachers and everyone goes crazy and they chant for it, and then we have these horns that we blow during the game, and we have certain chants that we've come up with, and I'm sure you guys have seen some of my football games just from like my vlogs or what I've put on YouTube, but it's just some of the funnest times of my life, and I definitely don't regret going to almost every single football game. And going to away games are super fun too, because you get to kind of just be in a different atmosphere at a different school, but still have the same people who go to the football games with you and do the same sort of thing. I also want to encourage study groups. Get a good group of friends together that you know is kind of serious about the subject that you're maybe struggling in, or you at least just want to be serious about studying it, and bring some food and just all hang out, because sometimes it can just turn into like an after school just hangout time, and also get all your homework done with your friends, because when minds come together, homework gets done a lot faster. I didn't do it too often just because I gotta be honest, I wasn't that good at studying, but when I did, I definitely did a lot better on tests, and it helped a lot. So just be serious about that type of stuff, especially when your grade is suffering. You need to make sure you study a lot. And flashcards are your friends if that's how you study. That was how I studied. If your school offers musicals and plays, I would highly encourage getting involved in them. If you have always been interested in singing or acting and you were just kind of a creative and outgoing person, then I would encourage you to get involved in that. But if you don't want to get involved in any of that, then at least go and watch them, because usually it's just cool to see your school come together and see someone just come to life in a different form, like as a character or singing. You never really knew that some people could like sing so well at your school. When people were freshmen, a lot of people at my school would hang out with the same people all throughout senior year, like all to senior year. And usually you stick with those same core people, and some people like decide to be friends with other people and don't really hang out with you as much. But I would just suggest invite different people from different friend groups to all hang out together, because sometimes the most interesting group of people tends to be the funnest times, and you end up with your best friend and then some random person that you found that's super outgoing and fun in different groups, and you just pool all these people together and it just ends up making a different friend group, and you guys have a different group message, and it's just a fun time. A lot of people say that high school is the worst time of their life, but I really feel like it's what you make it. And I also understand that there are mean people at school. There's going to be mean people in every stage of your life. It's just how you deal with it and how much attention you give them when they're trying to bring you down. It's all about just shrugging it off and trying to find those good people in every situation. So that's my advice for this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long for you, and hopefully you got something out of it. Leave me a nice encouraging comment so that I am just empowered to do more videos like this. I'm not afraid to ask for that because it just really motivates me to do more videos like these, and I appreciate them a lot. So I love you guys, and I will be seeing you guys on my social media and in my next video. Deuces!